Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Get ready to shine bright with the Jewel Sports Podcast. From the courts to the stadium, we bring you all the action and excitement. Join us as we explore the dazzling world of sports. Expert analysis, thrilling interviews, and captivating stories. Jewel Sports Podcast, your gateway to sporting brilliance. Join us now and let the game begin. Jewel Sports Podcast, where sports come to life. Brought to you by the Sportdisciple, the sporting servant.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of Jewel Sports Podcast, where we delve deep into the world of sports and bring you intriguing conversations with the brightest minds in the industry. I am your host, the Sportdisciple, the sporting servant. And in this episode, we have a special guest who has left his mark on the world of sports. I present to you our first guest on this special program. Please welcome the renowned sports analyst, Anas Bamusa. Anas, you're welcome to this first episode. All right, Mr. Anas, how does it feel being the first person to appear on this inaugural episode of Jewel Sports? Because this is a special edition for me and for us at Jewel Sports Podcast. How does it feel being the first guest of this program?
Well, this is, you'll be shocked, I'll be surprised if I tell you that this is one of the biggest honors that I've gotten in the whole of my sporting career. Because look, this is not only historic in itself, it's also historic to me because it's a brainchild of my own friend, this podcast. So that shows you that for you to be part of this kind of gigantic project by a friend who sees sports journalism as something of dynamic, something that can move from strength to strength, is just a kind of giving a pat in the back for you to be part of it, and for you to be considered as the first guest in this kind of events is a very big honor. So, and I'm sure the history book of this program will remain kind of very, very favorable to me, and I'm very, very happy, and I'm very, very kind of excited, and I'm proud, very proud of you, yourself, your brain, and then the whole of the program in itself. And I hope and I promise to open my doors permanently for this program to see where I can help in any way, and definitely it will be a success, inshallah, for it being the first of its kind in the whole of Gombe State. Thank you very much.
Wow, I feel honored right now, and I'm very happy that you're glad to be part of this family. Let's jump right into it. You have had an illustrious career as a sport analyst, offering unique insights and perspectives. How did you first get started in this field, Mr. Anas?
Well, the issue of punditry, I can tell you vividly, I just found myself in it because I grew in a kind of sporty environment, very kind of sporty family. I grew up with my elderly ones, elder brothers, following sports seriously. My eldest brother is a season ticket holder of Tottenham Hotspur, a very die-hard supporter who is living in the UK watching Tottenham day in, day out. And then my other two brothers are die-hard Arsenal fans, We're speaking about former challenger cups of the then Julius Berger, BCC Lions, and the rest. So traveling to watch matches within Nigeria and Super Eagles and the other domestic games, and then analyzing European football while in my presence as a very, very small lad. So all these things gives me motivation, and then I found myself growing in it. And then when you come to the wider community where I grew up in a football community. I grew up where Gombe Lions exist, and for us there, if you don't even support Gombe Lions, you are just an outcast in the area. And if you don't support football, naturally you are just a laughing stock. And then it's a place where when Gombe Lions wins, police have to come and chase us away at night by 2 a.m. maybe. because we'll keep on analyzing the game until everybody to the daybreak. And then when we lose, it's a kind of, you say that maybe a figure died in the environment. So that's how lovely it was when it comes to sports. So I grew up in that kind of environment, and it has really impacted me towards that. And I choose punditry because I said, okay, Anas, you didn't play, Anas, you didn't coach, then what other career can you make out of sports? Then the next thing is the punditry. Then I'm in it, and you'll be shocked today, and you'll be surprised that I offer punditry services to BBC, Radio France International, NTA, Gombe Media Corporation, Amana Sports, all these kind of, a lot of media houses, both online and kind of electronic. And then also, that somehow opened my eyes. I became, today, courtesy of that, I'm an NPFL match commissioner, and I'm a board member of Gombe State Football Association. So, sports punditry went on to even put food on my table, Mark. So that's how far I've gone, and that's how far it can go in one's life.
Right, that's fantastic, Mr. Anas. It's truly inspiring to see how passion can pave the way for success. Now let's dive into the current state of sports. We have witnessed some incredible moments and records being shattered in recent times, especially in the world of sports. And you must have had some standout events that have caught your attention. Now, starting from Nigeria and other European competitions. Now, looking at those standout events, which among them actually has taken your attention?
Well, Mark, I have both positive and negative standout events. In the negative, positive aspect of it, I saw how, Africans and Nigerians conquered the world. Toby Amusun, an athlete that went out of nowhere and conquered the world in her own kind of skills. I saw how Victor Osimhen became a king in Italy, a land where he has never ever had anything to do with. And now I saw how Morocco, catapulted from a kind of African nation that is only given a chance of second round to a semi-finalist, in the World Cup. And then I've seen, how a lot of Africans and Nigerians are making names out of. I've seen Adesanya, Israel Adesanya, conquering the UFC world. UFC. I've seen a lot of things happen. I'm very, very kind of optimistic that Africa and Nigeria are growing, and those are my highs. And then coming down to my lows. Definitely when Nigeria failed to qualify to a World Cup right under my nose. 2022 Mark, right under my nose. I thought we played wonderfully well in Accra, coming into Nigeria to finish up the job at our own backyard with a Ghanaian team that is far lesser than us in stars, and then far lesser than us with close to 50 fans. While we have over hundreds of, tens of hundreds. But all of a sudden, they came in and they got the 3 points and went at the 1 point.
Just 1 point.
The score draw that they needed.
1-0 draw.
And then they left. That was one of my worst nights in football or in sports career.
I think that actually affected a lot of Nigerians watching the Super Eagles recently, because I was even speaking with my friend recently. I was asking him, are you watching the Super Eagles? He said, me, watch the Super Eagles. Maybe when they have put their house in order, then I'll start watching them again because of what they did to me in Abuja. I was like, okay, no problem. All right, that's good, Mr. Anas. But then, let's go to the other parts. I know you are a fan of different sports, but which of the sports is your favorite?
Well, you'll be surprised if I tell you table tennis is my favorite. Not really.
Now I'm surprised.
Yeah, you'll be surprised. Table tennis is my favorite. I love playing it. I do play it, and I do follow the likes of Segun Tariola, the likes of Haruna Kadri, even the likes of Atanda Musa of before. I do follow them. So it's a very, very lovely sport that I love watching and I love playing. And then, but Mark, you need to be kind of dynamic. You need to be kind of follow the people who in Sabi Road. When you see the majority of the world follows a sport, you shouldn't be a kind of outcast, or you shouldn't be a very kind of
you won't have a chance to maybe analyze
most
on those
probably
sports.
Because they are not popular at where I come from. So football, becomes the most popular even in the world. And now let me just kind of adjust to that and follow suit. And thank God I do, and I am enjoying it, and I am doing very, very well in it.
Yeah, I love that. So you are a fan of tennis,
Yeah.
but then you just have to go with football because a lot of people follow football,
It is the one in vogue.
yeah,
It's in vogue.
and you will always have to offer your opinion
Exactly.
on that because a lot
Exactly.
of people are following that.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for that. Now, let's come back to Gombe State. Looking at the sporting landscape in Gombe State, what do you think can be done to ensure that we bring out the best in athletes as well as maximize the power of sport in the states?
Mark, how I wish I can be given the chance to govern the state. You
Yep.
know, for even 1 hour. For even 1 hour. It should be a sporty state. Gombe State is blessed. Sport-wise is blessed. Everything you're looking for in sports is in Gombe. Go to our National Sports Festival. You see Gombe indigents coming out to represent other states and do well. So that shows you there was not kind of level playing ground for them to come in and harness their potentials down here. That's why. Check out wherever a Gombe player is, or athlete is, in whatever it is, he's excelling. But the issue is we are not giving the opportunity for people to excel and strive in their own fields of athletics.
That's true.
The issue is this, Mark. We are seeing now how Saudi is diversifying. We are seeing rich countries, not even states that are richer than Nigeria, not talk less of Gombe, diversifying through sports. Today, the biggest economic venture in the whole of the United Kingdom is the EPL, the
Yes.
English Premier League. It is the thing that brought in money, and it is the thing that is sustaining money, the biggest thing that is happening as far as the UK is concerned. Hence, making the England to make the decision of the Brexit, that they feel that they can live on their own, that there is no way you can tell me that my Lithuania and I are under the same roof, and then we are being accorded the same kind of care and with my own money, and they are not contributing to the share of the NATO. So to me, if I give out, then Lithuania give out, and then for us to be sure, to me I'm being cheated because I'm the biggest economy. So England feel that they are independent. This is simply because of sports.
Yes.
So today, if we can bring this into Gombe, let's invest in sport. Let's have a budget. The way we are budgeting for agriculture, the way we are budgeting for education, let's budget alongside sports.
But then the state government will tell you we have annual budget for sports commission.
No, I don't want that kind of annual budget of sports commission. Just simple things that will cut across, maybe sports festival, the Gombe Bulls, Gombe, all these sports are subheadings. This is not what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I'm looking for investment that, look, okay, there will be a football tour of Europe under 13. There will be a football tour of Europe under 20. There will be, that's in basketball and football. There will be a kind of tour of Kenya of athletics. There will be a tour of Ethiopia for athletics. So at the end of the year, we'll have these key performance indicators. After these tours, how many people have we sold out? We should be selling.
And your performance in national events.
Then how, when you compare it, how do we perform in national events? Some of us will sell them in the tour. Some of us will come back with them, benefit from their trainings and talents in the national sports festival, and then they will be sold there. So at the end of the day, these athletes will become the petrol of Gombe State.
Yeah,
we can invest, we can achieve that. We can do that. Let's even go ahead and privatize the sport. Invite big companies to come and show them the templates. We are ready to give out our brains, to give out the templates, so that at the end of the day, these companies should invest alongside the state government, so that they can somehow co-invest and then come in and support this motion and make Gombe State a kind of sporting state that it is.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Anas. Let's take a short musical break. When we return, Anas, we will still talk to you about other things. But then when we return, we'll take some of the news that made the headlines over the week before we continue. Let's go for a short musical break.
Podcast, your gateway to sporting brilliance. Join us now and let the game begin. Joel Sports Podcast, where sports come to life. Brought to you by the Sportdisciple, the sporting servant.
All right, thank you very much for joining us once again. In case you're just tuning in, is Jewel Sport podcast, the first episode with Anas Bamusa as our special guest this morning. We've been talking about different things. All right, just before we go back to Mr. Anas, let's just take some of the news that made the headlines over the week in the world of sports. The Super Eagles booked their spot in the 2023 African Cup of Nations on Sunday in Monrovia, following a dramatic 3-2 win over Sierra Leone at the Samuel Kenyon Doe Sports Complex. While striker Victor Osimhen scored a first-half brace, Sierra Leone fought back through goals by Mustafa Bundu and Augustus Kagbo, with score being tied at 2-2 until deep into stoppage time. It took a 95th minute effort by Kelechi Iheanacho for Nigeria to bag maximum point. As a result, the Super Eagles sealed their place in the upcoming tournament, while Sierra Leone missed out on African Cup of Nations qualification. Spain beat Croatia 5-4 in penalties to clinch Nations League glory as they celebrated their first trophy win since Euro 2012. Substitute Dani Carvajal converted the winning spot kick with a panenka after the game had finished goalless after extra time. Giving head, coach Luis de la Fuente also only appointed Luis Enrique's successor in December, a trophy-winning start to his tenure. Croatia World Cup finalists in 2018 and third-placed finishers in Qatar last year were hoping to lift their first trophy but could not find a way to goal across the 120 minutes despite the best effort of Luka Modric, with substitutes Lovro Maha and Bruno Petkovic then seeing their penalties saved by Unai Simon in the shootouts. It was a heartbreaking outcome for serial overachievers Croatia, who 4 days on from their extra time win over Netherlands in the semis once again fall painfully short of a historic triumph. All right, still within the week, Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf within the week approved the appointment of a 13-man management board for Kano Pillars Football Club. This was contained in a statement issued by the governor's chief press secretary Alhaji Sanusi Bature. According to Kabir Yusuf, Alhaji Babangida Little is the chairman of the board, while Sani Ibrahim will serve as secretary. Others are Garba Umar, Naziru Abubakar, Bashir Chilla, Aliyu Nayara, Shuaibu Dogwa, Rabiu Pele, Muhammad Danjuma, Sabo Chokalinka, Abba Haruna, Usman Kofar Naisa, and Yakubu Pele. He said that the appointments were with immediate effects, adding that the officials will soon be inaugurated. The governor charged the officials to discharge their duties with dedication and commitment for the realization of their mandates. The Saima Sugida were relegated from the Nigerian Premier Football League in the 2021-2022 season. Kano Pillars have, however, qualified for the Nigerian National League Super 8 playoffs. The top 4 teams from the competition will secure promotion to the NPFL. Alright, still in the week, the president of Remo Stars Football Club Kule Soname showered cash on the players, coaches and staff of the club for securing the CAF Champions League ticket. The Sky Blue Stars picked the continental ticket following the 1-0 victory against Bendel Insurance at the final match day of the 2022-2023 NPFL Championship playoffs at the Mobalaji Johnson Arena in Lagos. Remo Stars ended the NPFL Super 6 playoffs with 9 points after 5 games as the elected club owner, while hosting the playoffs. Coaches and staff at the club's complex gave 20 million cash gifts to the players. He also doled out 5 million to the technical crew and medical crew, 1.5 million to the supporters club, and 1.5 million to the media team. Soname further applauded the players and the coaching crew for ending the season in the second position, which is the club's biggest finish in the league. Alright, still in the week, Bendel Insurance ended a 43-year wait for a domestic title on Wednesday after beating Enugu Rangers 1-0 to claim the 2023 Federations Cup title, as well as prize money of 15 million naira at the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba. A first-half penalty by Imade was all that mattered for the Benin Arsenal to claim their 4th Federation Cup title and also picked the last continental ticket to represent Nigeria in next season's CAF Confederations Cup. Also, as 2 of the traditional sides in the country, Insurance and Rangers faced off in the final for the 3rd time in the competition's history, having met in 1978 and 1981 finals. In their previous 2 clashes in the final, Insurance won in 1978 edition 3-0, while Rangers avenged the loss with a 2-0 triumph 3 years later. All right, still talking highlights of the week. Roma coach Jose Mourinho has been banned for 4 matches by UEFA for confronting English referee Anthony Taylor after the Europa League final. The charge relates to an incident in a car park after the game when Mourinho directed a foul-mouthed rant at Taylor. The Portuguese had been booked by Taylor in Budapest, where Sevilla beat Roma on penalties after a 1-1 draw. Mourinho has been charged with using insulting or abusive languages. Both clubs also faced several charges over their fans' and players' conduct during the match. All right, another landmark. Cristiano Ronaldo marked his record-breaking 200 appearance for Portugal with a last gasp winner against Iceland. The Al Nassr star was named in the starting 11 against Iceland, spearheading the attack alongside Rafael Leo and Bernardo Silva. Pre-match, Ronaldo was awarded a Guinness World Record accolade before kicking off for his landmark achievement, where he becomes the first male player to ever make 200 international appearances. And in true Ronaldo fashion, he marked the event with a last-minute winner when he tucked in Gonzalo Inacio's knockdown, making it a night to remember for the striker. The cap is yet another incredible achievement for the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner, whose career has been littered with spectacular achievements. He is already the biggest goal scorer in men's international football with 123 goals, his latest coming on Tuesday night, as well as being the only player to participate in 5 European Championships. And that marks the end of the highlights of the week. All right, thank you very much for staying with us. Now let's go back to our guest of the week, Mr. Anas. Thank you for staying with us. Now let's come back to you now. All right, looking at everything that is happening around the sport industry, you are often tasked with predicting outcomes and analyzing performances. Could you shed some light on the challenges that comes with this role?
Well, the challenges, Mark, the predictions, one have to be very, very smart and have to be very, very knowledgeable of what you're predicting. That's the biggest challenge. You have to dig deep to know squad strength, technical know-how of managers, kind of influencing ability of fans of the particular venue that you're in question. And all these things, you have to put them about 5 things into consideration before you predict a game. And then at the end of the day, your prediction, you need to give chance to both sides. You need to put both sides into consideration, what that can do and what that cannot do. And then finally come into the field of play and see where matches will be won or lost, be it in football or any sport.
Okay.
Then when you compare those, then you come out with your strength. So with your prediction. So the challenges is this, analyzing all these factors I earlier said, and then coming up with your prediction. Prediction sometimes is one of the difficult things that I do in my sport analysis, because it's a very, very big thing, and a lot of people see you as an authority, and then they believe in what you said. A lot of times I used to hear people doesn't even know who I am. In the market or other public places, I'll hear that so person have predicted, so let's see. And then all of a sudden there was a day I predicted, was it Doma versus Rivers United. A lot of people were laughing at me. If some people do call me that, hey, when I said Doma will win 2-1, and then by then Rivers was unbeaten in Gombe and it's a most untouchable team in Nigeria, and then Doma are starters. So when that game happened, I was in the stadium. People stopped me from going out. Some people I don't even know that they do list. I don't even know them. So maybe they know. So all these kind of things, they are paying sometimes, but at a time, sometimes, especially when they backfire.
Definitely. People,
especially those that you predict against.
Especially those who are into betting. Actually, sometimes they have to listen to you and then get to see where your attention is before putting in their bets. All right, Mr. Anas, do you have a club you support?
Yeah, both domestic and outside.
Okay, in the domestic?
In the domestic, I was born in Gombe Lions kind of environment, so I love Gombe Lions.
You love Gombe Lions?
I grew up loving Gombe Lions, and
Okay.
then coming out, now I have a soft spot for for my kind of teams that come from Gombe, especially in the MPFL, Gombe and Gombe United.
Gombe United.
I love those two teams. I love to see them strive, and then any club that is associated with Gombe going out to represent the state outside the state, I am in support of it. But locally here within the league, maybe state league, I cannot have because I'm a board member in the state, so I don't have a team in that direction. Then coming out, I support my national team, whatever it is at whatever level. I support Gombe Bulls also from Gombe State, and then in Europe I support Manchester United fully.
Okay. Now, just before we go to Manchester United, starting with your domestic clubs, especially Gombe United. Now they will be heading for the Super 8 playoffs against Yobe Disasters. Yesterday we saw a post from their official Twitter and Facebook handles that they are ready for the challenge and posting the fixtures. Now we can say it's a confirmation that they will be participating in the playoffs. What are you expecting from Gombe United?
Well, even though there is this late preparation, but I saw some of their big names coming back. Yesterday I saw the likes of Abbas and the rest in town. So it's like they are going for it. But when you say they are not that kind of trained well, you shouldn't forget at the same time that it was some weeks ago that they got eliminated by Warri Wolves. So it's like they are.
That was almost close to a month.
Yeah, they're not that rusty. So some touches can do that. And then it's like when I saw without them training without the gaffer himself, then I believe what they are doing is that they are trying to have their screening, use this tournament to screen.
Okay.
And that's the best thing to do. So to me, a lot of young lads will have chance to go and play and showcase what they can. And this is the best opportunity for them to do that.
Are we expecting the gaffer to still be in Gombe United come next season?
I had a very, very good chit chat with the GM the day before yesterday at the launching of the fertilizer, and then he was telling me that no shaking, nothing do Ali Zubero. Ali Zubero is still intact as the manager of Gombe United, and then he will be on the dockyard next season.
Let's go to Europe. Manchester United right now, there were a lot of issues coming up here and there with regards to who is taking over Manchester United, the Qatari, the Sheikh who is in there, and then the Jim Ratcliffe. And what's the latest now with regard to the taking over? Is it going to happen, or is it still something that we should take our mind off it?
It is going to happen because a lot of indicators are showing. One, we've seen kind of the registration with the kind of like corporate affairs commission or business registration of a business name into the UK business house by the what do you call it, 1992 foundation. It was registered last week with Sheikh Jassim as the head. So Sheikh Jassim has never had any business in the UK and is not going to have any business in the UK apart from the Manchester United he is bidding. One. Secondly, we saw a video from revered who said that we are tilting towards the Qatari, and it's like the information coming out, his bid is accepted and successful. And we remember Ferdinand is so reliable to the extent that he was the first person to break the news of Ronaldo returning. Ronaldo did. So now the latest report coming out yesterday is that Sergeant Ratcliffe has channeled his money that he got from the banks for this deal back into Nice in France.
Ineos.
He has a team in France.
Okay, Nice.
So he's channeled the money into Nice, and then they are going to have a better team next season. So that means he's already backing out, and they said his confidence is now record low in the bidding. So that means he has already maybe accepted. So we were told that really things are going behind the scenes, legal works, legal draftings, according to finalize the deal. So the announcement is imminent, Mark.
Okay. Now, with regard to Manchester United, there will be a lot of activities in the transfer markets for Manchester United. Where do you think United need to strengthen to at least catch up with Manchester City?
United must, and they are signing 4 players. Anything that is added on 4 is a bonus. They are signing a goalkeeper.
Okay.
They are signing a centre half. They are signing a central striker, and they are signing a central midfielder. I'm almost sure that either Andre Onana or Diego Costa, from Portugal, one will sign for United. And almost certain that Axel Disasi, a centre half that played for France in the World Cup, he played, and he's with Monaco right now. He's coming in. He's a black guy coming in for about 40 million euro. Definitely Mason Mount is signing for United.
Yeah, but I learned that second bid was rejected. Recently.
United cannot be going with bids and then keep. They will definitely sign him, and they are definitely signing Højlund.
Okay.
Højlund, that guy from Denmark. Denmark. He's a Danish. He's playing with Atlanta. He's very young, at the age of 21, 22. He's a very young and promising striker, just like where Rooney started. How Rooney started. He doesn't have the goals to show now in the Atlanta, but he is having all the prospects to excel in this world. So definitely, these 4 signings will be done. Whatever you add on those 4, Diego Costa, Onana, Axel Disasi, Mason Mount, and Højlund, anything you add is a bonus.
And now let's look at what is happening in the transfer markets. N'Golo Kante has completed his move to Saudi Arabian club Al Ittihad. It has been announced the midfielder leaves Chelsea after 7 years at the club to join France teammates Karim Benzema at Al Ittihad, where he signed a 4-year deal. Like many of the players moving from Europe to the Middle East, Kante will be pocketing eye-watering wages, with reports claiming he will earn almost £85.5 million plus image and commercial rights over the course of his 4-year deal. It is understood the 32-year-old will be unveiled as an Al Ittihad player in July. Kante becomes the latest big name to leave Europe for Saudi Arabia, which was spearheaded by Cristiano Ronaldo when he joined Al Nassr in January. Benzema joined reigning Saudi Pro League champions Al Ittihad earlier in the summer, while Wolves midfielder is set to complete a move to Al Hilal. Arsenal have reached an agreement with Chelsea over a deal to sign Kai Havertz. The fee will be in the region of £65 million, while personal terms are already in place and a medical will be scheduled. He will likely sign a long-term deal that will match the £210,000 a week wages at Stamford Bridge. Havertz joined Chelsea in 2020 from Bayer Leverkusen in a deal worth up to £71 million. The 24-year-old scored the Champions League winning goal in 2021 for Chelsea. West Ham United have rejected a second bid from Arsenal for their captain Declan Rice. It is understood the Gunners' latest offer for the 24-year-old England midfielder could have been worth as much as £90 million in total to the Hammers. However, Arsenal were proposing the initial fee for Rice to be £75 million, spread over 4 payments. West Ham rejected Arsenal's opening bid last week and want a larger fee and a shorter payment plan to the deal. Hammers chairman David Sullivan has said he is 99% sure Rice, who led the Hammers to victory in the Europa Conference League earlier this month, will leave West Ham this summer. Chelsea have rejected a second bid from Manchester United for midfielder Mason Mount. The second offer is understood to be worth between 45 to 50 million pounds guaranteed plus 5 million pounds in performance-related add-ons. United clearly wanted to sign the England international, but have a valuation in mind which they are unlikely to go beyond. Negotiations are expected to continue for Mount, who has 1 year left on his Chelsea contract. Ike Gundogan will leave Man City to sign for Barcelona on an initial 2-year deal, JSP understands. The 32-year-old will depart City after helping his side to the treble last season. Gundogan was offered a 1-year deal to remain at the Etihad, but turned it down in favour of a move to the Catalan Giants. The midfielder and his representatives are said to have held talks after he finished international duty with Germany. It is understood finances are not a problem, and the player's decision is purely based on around his family. The Germany international will also have the option over a further year with Barcelona. Alright, and finally, Mateo Kovacic is close to joining Manchester City after they agreed a deal with Chelsea worth up to £30 million. The Croatia midfielder is set to join the Premier League champions for an initial fee of £25 million with £5 million in potential add-ons. Chelsea are continuing to sell players as they look to trim their large squad for new manager Mauricio Pochettino. Kovacic joined Chelsea from Real Madrid in 2019, initially on loan, before signing a 5-year permanent contract. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Anas. Now, before we wrap up this enlightening conversation, what advice will you give to aspiring sport analysts who want to make a mark in the industry?
They should just know that there is nothing sweet than being behind the mic. Because if you love it, come and do it. Because doing something you love is the most enjoyable thing in this world. And then they should people are being scared of language. Don't let language be a barrier between you and what you love the most. Yeah. Come and express yourself. There are punditry in different languages. Do it in the language you feel best, and then keep doing. When you are making sense, it's not the language that matters, it's the content of your analysis that matters. Yeah. Some people do analyze and their English is very, very low, but they do analyze and the message is being passed very well. So to me, do it. You will love it. I started just the way you are.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Anas. It was a pleasure having you on this first episode of the program, and hopefully we can do more in the coming weeks. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, listener. Thank you very much. We appreciate you for listening to this first episode. Hope to see you again next week for another interesting edition. Thank you.